Are you dependent on one stream of income and calling it God's provision? What if I told you that your frustration isn't from lack, but from disobedience to God's divine strategy? See, this episode is for couples who feel stuck, who feel burnt out, or they don't know how to expand their income. This right here is conversations that lead to greatness.
And I'm Lester Smith.
And welcome back to our coaching podcast where we educate, motivate, and inspire you to break free of your limiting mindsets in marriage, faith, and finance that hinders your ability to create the life you desire. Now, today, guys, we're talking about multiple streams of income. And it's a continuation from another episode we did. But this time, we're giving 3 of our top principles that we have used and is still using to create multiple streams of income the kingdom way. Okay, because we are in the kingdom, so we have to do things totally different from the world. So we have to do things the way God set the order of it. Okay, so we're just going to share our top 3 principles, and we're going to give practical steps or practical strategies that you can start right now today to implement these things into your life. Okay, and that's what we're going to do. You ready?
Why not?
Oh, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and like. Thumbs up, comment, all that good stuff, okay? Because by the time you finish this episode, trust me, you will have clarity, right? Now, the first principle we're going to talk about is the principle of stewardship, okay? And I know Lester, he likes to use the Matthew 25 about the talents.
Why you
Because that's your favorite. That's what you always talk about.
It don't matter though.
Anywho, because this is how I know I'm gonna get you talking.
Why you got to use my stuff though? Just let me bring my stuff to the people.
Okay. You know First principle, stewardship.
Yeah.
Please go on that.
Matthew 25. What verse is it?
16, I think.
Verse 16.
Don't give me the line.
I think it's 14 through 40 or something like that. But it's the parable of the talents. Mm-hmm. The master gave three of his servants. I think one was 5 talents, one was 3 talents, and one was 1 talent. Mm-hmm. The one that he gave 1 talent to, everybody doubled their talent except the one. The one that had the one, he went and buried his in the ground because he was scared of losing it. And then when the master came back, he was mad. He was upset at that. He called him a wicked and lazy servant. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he didn't even go and try to flip the money. He wants somebody who gonna flip his money. So he told the other 2 that they brought him something back. He's like, hey, come on, share your master's wealth. You know what I mean? So that story lets me know, and this was Jesus telling this story. So that lets me know that God wants us to multiply anything that he gives us. Mm-hmm. Anything that he gives us, he wants us to multiply. And if you're not multiplying, you're being disobedient to the word of God.
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely. Mm-hmm. And I like to go back to the foundation with Genesis. Because I know if you ain't read nothing else, you read a book of Genesis, right? The first chapter, you have read that. Okay. Where it say, be fruitful and multiply.
There it is.
Be fruitful and multiply. Mm-hmm. That lets us know that multiplication is a kingdom expectation, right? And in order for us to multiply, we have to have great stewardship skills, okay? So when we talk about multiplication and stewarding the things, you have to understand that God would not give you something that will go to waste. Mm-hmm. Everything God gives is with intention, right? So one thing that we have done was, before we even considered more or considered praying to God, we was like, God, what can we use right now that we are mismanaging or misstewarding, right? Especially when we're talking about streams of income. Mm-hmm. What was something that we can use right now that is in our hand that will bring in money? Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? We had things around the house. Right? We start selling that, and you end up making that an eBay business. Mm. So that then became a stream of income, right? So it's not that you lack the what I'm trying to say.
You have
the means.
You have the means.
Yeah.
You're just not putting them into. You're not putting it into action.
That part.
Yeah.
And I want to go talk about the kingdom, because everything is going to be biblical, right? Because again, you can't argue with the Bible. Mm-hmm. So when we talk about fruitfulness and expansion, a lot of times we think that fruitfulness is just having kids, expanding our bloodline, but being fruitful with your time. Your time's supposed to produce some type of fruit. Being fruitful in your marriage is supposed to produce some offsprings, right? Harvest, those are little seeds. See, God gives us seed, right? And the seed that he gives us is to be planted for multiplication. It's for us to be a good steward, to plant that thing in good solid ground, so therefore God can do the watering, and then that harvest will come, and then the harvest will give glory to God. Right? So we have to understand that it's not just about being fruitful and thinking we just want a provision. No, it's about understanding that the fruit that I have, I must steward it well. I have to. And I have to understand that this thing is not for myself. God gave me this blessing, or the thing that I have in my hand is not for me. It's not for me to hold on to. It's not for me to hoard. Or hold on to for myself. It's not for me to bury, because I'm thinking from a place of lack, right? We're doing things kingdom way. Yeah. So we have to do it God's way.
And you have to remember that the servant that buried in the ground, he called him wicked.
Yes.
He called him a wicked, lazy servant. And are you being wicked and lazy? That's something you have to think about. What am I doing that's advancing God's kingdom, and how am I multiplying what he gave me? Because you have to multiply it. You know, God don't believe in 1 + 1 = 2. He believe in 1 times. Yeah, 1 times whatever equals. You know, but that's how he does it. That's how he does things, and it's reiterated many times throughout the Bible. Multiplication. I like Ecclesiastes 11:2. It says, "Invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8." Because you do not know what disasters are going to come upon the land. Well, you're going to talk about that later.
Quick. Yes, that's the next one. Later? Yes, let me say yes. You slow down, pipe down, little daddy, pipe down. So this is what I want you to think about, because we're giving you practical strategies. Yeah. Let's think about what can we monetize in our wisdom of the things that we have overcome, breakthrough, wisdom. What can we monetize that? So wisdom can turn into wealth, right? You can turn your wisdom that you have learned from a certain situation, a certain season into your life, and help someone else that is going through that season as well, and turn it into a stream of income. Okay. So example, if you're a teacher, well, guess what? Summer is out. You know, and we have parents that is looking for some type of tutorer for their kids to get them ready for their next grade. Yeah. You can literally start a tutoring business where it's 30 minutes to an hour per kid, and you can just do one a day, right? Your day don't have to be filled. Yeah. You can just do one a day, or however many however you want to do it, and that is a stream of income, because that is a problem and you have a solution. You already have the wisdom. Yeah. You already have the knowledge. You even already have the material. Yeah. Right? So it's thinking like that. Yeah. It's not, when we talk about multiple streams of income, it's not that you're going to get another degree. It's not that you're going to get another job. It is working with what you already have in your hand.
And let me say this, quick story. I remember when I was a child, how was Lauren? That was before she went to kindergarten, right? When she had the tutor.
Yes, before she went.
Okay, before she went to kindergarten, she hadn't got her a tutor. The lady that she had teaching her was a teacher. She was a teacher, and they was trading services. Yep. She was doing her hair, and the lady was tutoring our kid. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So let me ask you this question: the little time that she did on the lady's hair, that was able to pour into our child, so that our child can be ahead when she go to school. When she go. Ooh, that's powerful. The Lord just dropped it into my spirit.
That was great, baby. But you know, the killing thing, my whole thing behind it, because you know, I was dealing with my lack and poverty mindset. Mine was like, shit, I ain't gotta pay you. Let's barter. You pay, you know, I do your hair and you tutor my child. But we, you know, even in that, God works everything out. Another example, if you love cooking, right? Think about so many people now is trying to get their weight under control, trying to get their make a healthy eating their lifestyle, right? Mm-hmm. But they don't have time. Maybe they're working, their mom, their dad, they don't have time to sit there and put in the work that it calls for healthy meals.
Meal prep, huh?
So meal prep, right? You love cooking already. Only thing you might have to do is learn how to tweak a meal to make it more healthier, to learn how to count macros, to, to look at the nutritional facts and the nutritional value of certain foods. Yeah. But you're doing something already that you love doing. Yeah. Turn it into a stream of a stream of income.
Remember we was going to Be Fit in the pandemic?
Exactly. Yeah, they was racking up $6 and $7 a meal.
Yeah, they were killing the game because there wasn't nothing open.
It wasn't nothing.
It wasn't nothing open, and they was delivering to the houses and stuff like that. They were supposed to be at home, but they like, man, I'm gonna take this little chance to make me some extra money. And I think the meals is only like $7 a piece. $7 a piece, and if you get so many of them, they give you a discount. But yeah, they was racking up money on that there.
They definitely was.
They was macro friendly meals. And, we were around here gaining a bunch of weight in the pandemic like everybody else was. Well, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, guys. So that is the principle of stewardship. What do you have in your hand that you can use? Don't ask yourself, how can I make money? But how can I turn this into a stream of income? Mm-hmm. Like, don't just be like, okay, how much can I, like it's a one-time thing. Yeah. This is an ongoing thing, right? Mm-hmm. So, stewardship. The next principle that we used was diversification.
Diversification.
That's what you're talking about. You taught me that. Diligency and diversification. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. So, you want to go in on this or me?
Yeah, I can tap in on diversification. Okay. That means get you some multiple streams of income.
Diversify
those streams of income. I remember back when I was working. And I would take that money from the job and go invest it in other things, whether it be socks, cologne, shoes, whatever, to make some extra money. And I also bought me a set of DJ equipment. I've been DJing since I was 18 years old, so I would go DJ on Saturday nights when I wasn't working. You know what I'm saying? She would come with me. We would go DJ. Sometimes I have two parties a weekend. So I'm selling stuff at work with the socks, cologne, shoes, and all that. Plus, I'm getting my job income, and then plus I'm putting money into the IRA. Put money into growing my money in the stock market. You understand what I'm saying? The only thing I wasn't doing was investing in real estate back then. I wish I would have been investing in real estate back then, but it's better late than never. It's better late than never. And that would have been a well-rounded portfolio. Let me tell you that. But anyway, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. You want me to keep going?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and as I think about that, the crazy part about it, I didn't even know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. I remember listening to Dave Ramsey and him saying that, try to make you as much money as you possibly can to get out of debt, whether that be you working on the job or you getting some type of side hustle to take that money and put it towards your debt as well. And I was like, okay, but let me tell you this, I've always been a hustler. I'm a hustler. Yeah, baby. I remember I was 8-9 years old going to the gas station, pumping gas for a quarter, 50 cents, whatever they would give me. I remember also selling blow pops, buying blow pops 10 for $1, selling them a quarter a piece. That's cool, So I always been a hustler. I was always able to make money. There was no time that I can remember that I wasn't making some type of money. But anyway, go ahead.
So when we talk about Ecclesiastes 11:2, where it say invest in 7, venture yes in 8. For you do not know what disaster may come upon the land. Mm-hmm. And this is where this principle comes from about the diversification and delicacy. Mm-hmm. All right. So when we talk about diversification, it is because life is unpredictable, right? So if you put all your eggs in one bucket, ain't that it? Eggs in a bucket?
One basket.
Dang. Mm-hmm. If you put all your eggs in one basket, and then life throws you a curveball, and that basket is done, it's flipped, it's over with. Your life is turned upside down because you can't predict life. Right? So you want to diversify. You want to spread everything out, your wealth out. When COVID hit, this was a perfect example of this scripture. This was a disaster that hit the land. Yeah. COVID hit. The people that only depended on their one stream of income for provision or to take care of them, they was left with their life turned upside down. They literally was left with their life turned upside down.
Yeah.
Right? But the ones who had them side hustles, even if they didn't even take it serious, they took it serious during the pandemic.
Yeah.
But those who knew how to make extra income, who know how to get uncomfortable, who know how to hustle, they kept their head above water. Right? And diversifying, right? So when you diversify, I wrote that it prepares you for the good and bad. You are prepared, right? When you have that principle down and you understand what Solomon is saying, you are being diligent. You're being diligent, right? Yeah. Because now you know that you're going to sow, you're going to build, and you're going to invest to prepare. You're doing all these 3 principles that God is going to back up because now you are preparing for disaster, right?
Yeah.
So
I look at it like this too. I don't know if y'all ever seen them candy machines that have three layers in the candy machine. Where you can get, we got one right over there. I just wanted to, just let them know.
Is that what you just looked at?
and I'm thinking about that candy machine because it got 3 things where you could turn the quarter and the candy come out, right? You got one that has Skittles, one that has bubble gum, and one that has Boston baked beans. What if you'll pretty much hit everybody with one of them? Now what if I only had all gumballs? I had gumballs in all 3 of them. I can only get one kind of person. I can only hit one customer. But if I got 3 different things, and that's diversifying your portfolio. If I got 3 different things, I can sell to 3 different kind of people. Because one person not gonna like gum, one person not gonna like Skittles, one person not gonna like Boston baked beans. But I can hit more than one person, and somebody might get all 3 of them. They just might like all 3 of them. You just have to think about it like that. And I often thought about that when I was coming up. About when I used to walk up to the machines and I'm like, man, I don't like M&Ms, but I'm gonna get me some of these Skittles though. You know what I mean?
Get these Skittles.
Yeah. And let me put 2 or 3 quarters in there. Something like that. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
And you know what I was thinking about? When we talk about multiple streams of income, like the Bible backs it up in so many Bible stories. And one of them was Joseph. Remember how he was in the pit and all this, went to pit to the pit, all that stuff, right? But the way he steward, or the way he created overflow for not just Egypt but for his family as well, his strategy and his wisdom that he got from God led him to the palace, to be over everything, right? Because he got divine wisdom. He seek God first. When we're talking about multiple streams of income, it is a kingdom way of doing things, right? It's a kingdom order, and it's seek God first, get the wisdom, take action, and watch provision. Watch provision flow. But in order for you to be successful, you have to seek God first. Say, God, this is my talent. This is the things I like to do. This is what I know how to do. This is what I feel that that I am competent in. How can I turn this into an additional stream of income without it feeling like a burden, or without me getting burnt out too quick? God will give you that wisdom because he put that talent, that passion inside of you. He will give you the thing to do. Now that you got the wisdom, you see God got the wisdom, now you have to take action on that thing. It might be if you are teacher. It's easy to use a teacher. You got wisdom, God tell you, okay, summertime coming up, bam, tutorial, tutoring, all that. The take action part would be, hey, let's look on Facebook. Let me contact some of my students' parents, because I know they're going to their next level, and I know this is what they're struggling with. And say, hey, I understand this is such and such struggling with this when he was in my class or she was in my class. I can get them ready for the next grade. And you know what I'm saying? I'm contacting, right? I'm using the people that is already in my hand. The people that I already built trust up with. Right? I'm using that, taking action, and then I'm flowing in that.
And you gotta think about this too. You might not get but 2 students out of there. But you got them too.
You got them too.
You got them too, and you could just keep pressing forward and get more and more students. Go to somebody else's class, and try to get their students, or something of that nature. But yeah, I just got to keep going.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly.
And when you have one stream of income, you literally put your future in one basket. You literally did that. And that is not, I'm sorry, that is not Bible. That is not godly principle. Okay?
Yeah, it's definitely, let me say this too. They have a lot of people that just buy one stock. They buy one stock and and they just put all their money in that one stock. But if that one company, collapsed, it's over.
Wasn't that like what happened with Enron?
Yep. Yeah, well, all of them had their money in the pension funds and stuff like that.
Okay.
And the company just collapsed. And then what happens? Don't do that. Don't do that. Get your 7. The Bible says get your 7, maybe even 8. So get your 7 different stocks, 8 stocks. Just in case that one just boom, collapse, and then you'll still have them other 7 or them other 6 or whatever. You just got to think about that as well. But anyway, go ahead.
All right, the last principle that we use. I don't think we had an example of what we did to diversify.
Okay.
Airbnb and Turo. Ain't that an example?
That
not really.
That's that's an example. We had so many different side hustles, so many different businesses that we've created over the years. But just to give you an example, and this is what we mean by diversification. We own a Turo business where we rent the cars out. And we don't just have one car in the Turo business. We have 3 cars. So just imagine we have one car, and that one car go down, and you don't have no.
Right.
The Turo business ain't making no money. In Airbnb, we have 3 Airbnbs. So just imagine if one Airbnb go out, we still got them other 2. You got to think about that as well. We have a eBay business. What else we got?
And even in that, you don't sell just one specific thing. You sell a multiple.
Yeah, it's about
it's diversified.
My main bread and butter was sports cards, football, baseball, and basketball cards. But I didn't just sell baseball cards. I sold basketball and football cards as well. I could have easily just did one type of card and I did the other ones, but I also just don't sell that. I sell other things in the eBay store as well. I might take some stuff that we have in our closet and throw it on eBay. So that just gives you an idea of what you can do on eBay. And also, shoes, old purses, stuff like that as well. You can take that stuff and put it on there. I remember not too long ago, I ain't gonna say not too long, it's been a minute. She was flipping cakes. Selling cakes. She wasn't charging enough money.
Hey, you gonna still bring that up.
She wasn't charging enough money, because she was selling to the wrong people. But that was a stream of income as well. She was selling wigs. She was doing hair. So we've had what? We've had so many different streams of income to go through this household. And let me say this. Because of my entrepreneurial background, I was able to, I ain't gonna necessarily say instill that in her because she's not a child, but I was able to bring her on so that way she can kind of do that as well. Let me say this, when the pandemic hit and could nobody go get their hair done, she started making wigs. And as she was making those wigs, she got real good at it, and she was able to teach other people to make the wigs as well. So there go another stream of income. So the income just keep continuously, and I learned how to trade in the stock market. So we started doing a lot of options trading. I even taught her how to do options trading. So the income, there are so many different streams of income. All it takes is for you to get your knowledge up on that, and you can be able to move forward in that.
Yeah, and I'm a type of person, this is how I understood it. Because a lot of times when we was in the pandemic, all you heard is multiple streams of income. And when you look at that, you be like, well, how can I do that? I don't have the money to invest. I don't have the time. I don't, like, you look at the lack of you bringing in an additional stream of income. Yeah. One way they got through to me is what you have in your hand. Yeah. So I had the hair salon. I still, during the pandemic, while we were shut down, I still had to pay my rent. I still had to pay the overhead, right? Yeah. So even though I'm not working, I thought about what can I do to bring money in? I can't service clients. Salon shut down. So what I started doing was, hey, let me get on social media and learn how to make wigs. Bam, start making wigs. That was one source of income.
Let me ask you a question. Where did you learn how to make wigs from?
My mentor. She got on there with pandemic. She racked up.
No, hold on. I'm trying to open the people's mind up.
Okay.
So you jumped on social media. The lady was making wigs.
Yeah, she was teaching because she seen a problem with salon owners and everything closed down, but we still had bills to pay. Okay. So she said, "Hey, make some wigs."
So this is where I'm going with this. How much did you pay to learn how to make wigs?
I don't know. I think it was like $199.
$200.
Yes.
So you paid $200 to make wigs, to learn how to make wigs, and you was able to make thousands of dollars.
Yes.
I remember in the pandemic, I think you made like $80,000 in that year.
Yes.
So you was able to make $80,000 off a $200 investment.
Yes.
This is what you're telling these people?
Yes.
and not only that, she was able to do a webinar.
You taking me fast. Let me say my part.
Okay, go ahead on. I just want the people to understand the significance of this, though.
I understand it.
$200 course.
But this
helps
is what
you make $80,000.
This is what you have to understand first, because if you anything like me, you trying to be like, well, this all I know how to do is this.
Yeah.
How can I turn this into other additional stream of income, right? So I did the wigs. That was a stream of income.
Yeah.
The next thing I said, okay, I can make my own products.
Yeah.
I went start researching products. I looked for private labels and all this stuff. I created my own hair products specifically for my wigs, right? So if you purchase my wigs, they ask, hey, what do you recommend using? Bam, here you go. So this is another stream of income, right? Then I had some clients that just wanted sew-ins, they wanted hair. Well, if you don't want the wig, you can also buy the hair that I use for the wig because it's an amazing quality, right? So that was another stream of income. After that, I started doing courses. That was another. All from just being a hairstylist, that salon got shut down and she still had an overhead. All of that came from that. So it wasn't that I had to go out and learn something else or go out and change the whole
game plan up. Don't worry.
Industry. Change it to a whole different industry, become a teacher or something like that. No. I just looked at what can I do right now.
You actually did become a teacher.
Well, I mean, going to school. Stop doing it. But what can I do right now with what I already have at home, in-house, in my wisdom, and in my heart?
Yeah.
That's how I understood multiple streams of income. And I think that's where we get so caught up and we stretch ourselves thin, because each stream of income we're trying to create does not coincide together. It doesn't complement each other. Yeah. So you might have someone that cook, right? Then you have someone that that's a teacher, or you might have someone that do tutorial or do hair. You know what I'm saying? All these different things. You only one person, and you only have so many hours in a day. So it's gonna be hard on you, and then you're gonna feel burnt out.
Yeah.
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about get a stream of income in what you already have and expand on that. Yeah. Expand that thing into multiple streams of income.
And if you didn't understand what she was saying, let me go a little deeper on that. Addicted to Greatness is an education company. It's an education company. We originally just started out making YouTube videos like we're doing now. We've been doing this for 3 years, going on 3 years. So we just said, well, we'll do that, and then whatever comes from that, then we'll be good with that. So, but since then, we've made 3 ebooks. We about to get ready to drop a course. I'm a mentor. She's a mentor. You understand what I'm saying? What else do we have?
Apparel.
We have Addicted to Greatness Apparel. What else? Is that it?
Yes.
And that's all what stems inside of that one company. That's all what stems inside that one company. And like we're going, and all we gotta do is just keep adding.
Yeah.
Just keep adding to it. We can do seminars. We can do retreats, marriage couple retreats. We can do financial retreats. All these different things. We can just keep adding to that. We ain't got to go out and be trying to get something over here, trying to get something over there. We can just keep going with what we do.
It's under the same umbrella.
Exactly.
The same umbrella.
That's what I was trying to tell her a while back. She was trying to jump out there and go start doing something. I'm like, no, man. Let's stick within this umbrella, because I know God told us to do this. I know God told, because anything we create up under this umbrella is going to be a blessing. Let me say this. With Amazon created a whole lot of things up under that one umbrella, but only a few of them were successful. You understand what I'm saying? But they kept creating. They didn't just stop creating. It's like, dang, I don't know if y'all remember the Amazon Fire Phone. A lot of people don't remember that.
I don't.
But when they created that, it was a flop. It was a flop. So they just kept creating though. The biggest thing that they have with Amazon is Amazon Prime.
Yeah. That's
the biggest thing they have, because the recurring payments every month. But anyway, go ahead.
All right, our final principle. The principle of co-laboring with God. Letting God be your partner.
Your CEO.
Your CEO, I'm sorry, yes, because it's not. Your CEO, right? And when we talk about that, I like to think about the Proverbs 31 woman. I wrote it down. But yeah, with her, she this is what she did, because she bought the vineyard, right? She applied common sense, wisdom, right? And she carefully thought out this thing. She looked at something she thought that would be fruitful. Yeah. She considered it with God, applied wisdom, right? She bought it. Now from the earnings, after she bought it, she used that vineyard to be a productive thing, right? It started producing, it started multiplying, right? So she co-labored with God, right? Because this is the woman who's after God's own heart. Well, I'm just saying it, but she's after God's own heart. This is who, she understands her role as a wife. She understands her role as a mother, and she understands her role as a disciple of Christ. So I'd like to think of that. What she did was a kingdom principle, because a lot of us, we just go out and do things. We go out and try to be like the world, do things the way the world does it, and want God to bless it, want God's favor and grace and all these divine provision over it. And God is like, you are out of order. I can't bless anything that is not in my kingdom order that I set. I can't bless it. I might want to bless you because I see, what you're doing, but I can't because it's not in my order. So when you co-labor with God, he become the CEO. He become the partner you talk to God. How do you want me to do this? What is a way I can do this that is different from everybody else? How can I reach the people that you called me to reach or serve? Like, what is my social media strategy? What is my way of launching? What is the name of this business? Like, get down to that point. A lot of times we want to launch everything and get everything together and then consult God once we get it all together. And I'm speaking from me. I did that a lot of times, right? And it leads us to have to go back and start over, right? And relaunch something. And people, it's like, dang, did you just launch this? Now you're doing it again. You know what I'm saying? But it's because you just did it by yourself and you wanted God to bless. And then God is like, I'm not going to bless that. Because that is not the way or the order that I want you to do it. These people, it's not the people that I want you to serve. Now let's go back to this drawing board. Co-labor with me. Let me be the CEO, and let me be your partner, and let's write this game plan down. And you do it that way. That is where my blessing is at. So yeah, you found that what I was talking about.
Yeah. Proverbs 31, verse 16 through 19. She considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her task. She sees that her trading is profitable, and her lamp does not go out at night. Yeah.
Did you say about the vineyard?
That was the vineyard. 16.
Okay.
She considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard.
Yes. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, but man, it's just talking to God, just continuously talking to God on a daily basis and seeing what he wants you to do. Proverbs 3, verse 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your path straight. In all your ways. That's not just your business. That's your marriage. You chastising your kids. Whatever. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your path straight. You know what that means? Put God first. Put God first in everything. Your business, your marriage, whatever, your job. A lot of times we take jobs that we ain't supposed to take.
Don't say that.
Yeah, we take jobs we ain't supposed to take because if we the one to talk to God about it, we just going to the job that's paying the most money. But if we the one to talk to God about it on a lot of cases, all that struggle and that toil that you went through over there, you wouldn't have to go through all that. You could have made the same amount of money or more. You understand what I'm saying? So just start talking to God on a daily basis. Start talking to him on a regular basis and let him be the CEO of your business. I told her this a while back. I say, you know what? I was up there, I was praying and this and that. I come down, I say, I just made God the CEO of our business. I just made him the CEO of our business. And I need you to understand that this is what I did. So when you go to talking about, or let me do this and let me do that, talk to God first about it. Go talk to him. Meditate on it. I remember her telling me one time, we could talk to each other, this and that. No. We're going to talk to God. You talk to him and let me talk to him, and let's come together in the middle and then see what the Lord told each one of us. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to, sometimes, let me say this, sometimes you could talk to God and feel like you heard something because this is something that you want to do. But if both of y'all talk to him, whatever, I'm talking about a husband and a wife. If both of y'all talk to him, then you be like, well, no, that ain't what God told me. That ain't what God told me. I guess we need to fast. I guess we need to pray a little bit more. But no, that ain't it right there. That's not it. But anyway, go ahead.
And when you're talking about some of us are in a position where we took a job where we weren't supposed to have taken, it's because we took that thing out of survival mode.
Yeah.
We're looking at the bills, we're looking at all this thing that's coming up against us, right? And we feel that we have to be in control. That's when pride steps in, right? We feel that we have to have some type of control over the situation. So we go in survival mode because we have not yet understood the principle of stewardship. We haven't understood the principle of multiplication and diversification. We haven't understood these principles that we're going over. So therefore, we have a sense of lack. The spirit of lack is dwelling in us and is putting us in survival mode when all God is saying, you might water, you might plant, but I'm the one that's going to give harvest.
Yeah.
Team up with me. I'm the one, it gives the harvest. I give you seed, right? I give you seeds to plant. But if you don't plant that thing, or if you are in lack and you hold that seed and you waiting for that perfect time, God can't give you your harvest because it's not planted.
Yeah.
Right? So when you are in survival mode as disciples of Christ, we have to understand that is not our norm. Being in survival mode meaning we don't trust God. Meaning that we're too prideful to lay down our will, the things we think we want or what is good for us, and pick up what God is doing in our life. That's what they mean when you're in survival mode. And I have to understand that. Because a lot of times we think pride is being boastful in self and we have our, head up and we just this person. No. Cockiness, no. Pride can be when you don't trust God fully. When God tell you, okay, this is what I want you to do, but you feel that you don't want to do it right now. You feel that you're incompetent, so you go into disobedience. Guess what? That's still pride because you're holding on to your own will. You telling God that what I think, what I want to do is better than what you're telling me to do. That's prideful. Or when you know you need to talk to somebody, you need to seek wise counsel, but you are afraid of what people might think, or they might, you might look like you don't have it all put together. You hold on to it. So now the wisdom that God has for you can't even come in and change your situation. That's prideful. Yeah. That's being prideful. And that's one thing we have to understand. God never called us to survive. Yeah. Lay down that pride and ego. Yeah. Lay it down because it is not, it ain't for us. It's for the world.
Let me say this too, and we're going to close this thing out. A lot of times we just, we always want to talk, but we don't ever want to listen. We always, when we go to God, we go to telling him what we want and how we want it and all that. But you got to take time to listen to God too. You got to listen. You gotta listen. You can't just go in there and just be talking all the time. You gotta listen more than you talk. Yeah. When you're talking to God, because he talks back. He talks back. You go there and ask a question, he gonna give you the answer, and it might not be him telling you right then and there. Because I prayed many times and asked God for an answer, or whatnot, and it don't come a couple of days later. You know what I mean? And he'll tell me through a YouTube video, or tell me through her, or tell me through another friend, or something of that nature. Like, okay, there go the answer to what I was asking God about the other day, or something like that. But be open to listening when God tell you something. But anyway,
and closing out, listen, you were never meant to survive off of one stream of income. Yeah. You were called to multiply what God gave you. You were called to multiply. Okay. So if this episode stirred up something in you, tag your spouse, tag a friend, tag someone you really care about, send it to them and be accountable. Be accountable for what you heard and what you sent. Yeah. And don't forget to subscribe, y'all. Yeah. Subscribe. Because y'all ain't subscribing. We've been stuck at this number. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you ain't doing what I told you to do.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, man, I was trying to blame them. All right, take accountability, huh? When I say take accountability, let's close this thing out.
She trying to blame y'all when she ain't doing what I told her to do. What God spoke to me. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say sometimes you got to listen. When God spoke to me.
We're closing this thing out.
Hold on. When God spoke to me, and I spoke that to her. Now, if she don't do what God told me to tell her to do, then hey,
I think he told you, and you putting it off on me.
No, because you the one that be doing that.
I don't.
You praise the Lord. But anyway, guys,
God is good.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. God is good. Life is good. When we look good, we feel good. We're living a life of abundance. Peace.
Bye, guys.